Good evening.
Good evening.
Amen. How many of you guys glad to be in the house of God tonight?
Amen.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you would go with me in your Bibles to the Gospel according to Luke, chapter number 15. And this afternoon we made some modifications. Brother Mike and I got together and worked over at my house there for a while on the computer trying to add a few things to the church website. Mike, you got that website pulled up back there?
It's up.
All right. I'm going to go through here real quick. I'll definitely take just a minute. And we've had some issues since we got it started up. And Mike, if you're recording it, we can edit this out of YouTube, right?
That is correct, Captain.
Excellent. Okay. So I want to get this up here real fast. We had a problem when we first got it up of folk being able to log in with it. If you have a Facebook page, Mike, if you come over here to the sign in button right up here. Click that sign in page. You now have the option to log in with Facebook. All right, so if you have a Facebook page, it's already linked up. You can connect to the church website through Facebook. It's going to make it a whole lot easier to interface with it. Mike, if you scroll to the top, so you can become a member that way. And if you want to, you might click on the video page. It used to be you had to go to YouTube to watch the sermon videos, testimony videos, what have you. And if you click on those video pages, you can see down here, we've got a couple different testimonials. We've got testimonies and special music and recent messages. We just uploaded a couple of each. We got Shelly Connor's testimony up there. Miss Shelly. And you can now watch these directly off of the website. That means that when you click this video, it doesn't take you to YouTube. It plays directly off the website. So it's a YouTube plug-in as opposed to what it used to be, which made it a little bit better. Now this feature I wanted to add because hopefully the website is going to enable you to be able to tell your friends and family, hey, some great things are going on at Emmanuel Baptist Church. God's doing some wonderful things. Come check us out, but if you don't want to come out for a Sunday at first, then at least hop on the great World Wide Web. And if you want to scroll to the top, check us out. We have an About page, news, photos. You can watch some messages. But if you go over to the Location tab and you click on that, this is something we added this afternoon as well. You'll see a picture of the church, the address, of course, hours of our service times and all that, phone numbers of the church, pastor's number, and my number as well, our cell phone numbers, the email address if they want to contact us through the email page, and then Mike, if you can scroll down. We now have a map of it, a satellite image of the actual church. You can hybrid that, and then right down here, yeah, you can. That's an actual Google Earth image of the church, and you can zoom in all the way. You can actually see the top of the church. Kind of cool. But down at the very bottom of the page, are you going to show them that? Yeah,
He's going to show them that.
Zoom in a couple times. Yeah, now scroll over. Click, drag and drop. Yeah, scroll it. Clicking it all. All right.
It's okay, I had a rookie driver.
There's the actual church. All right, and that's the name about this church. Now, if you go down here, it says get directions from your location. What you can do there, if Mike, you want to plug in your address?
Start with tape. Let's start with tape.
Just for a demonstration purpose here. Worcester, Ohio. And you scroll down, you can see where it shows up a map from Worcester to the church, and you can actually, it prints out turn-by-turn directions to the church. So if anybody needs to know how to get to the church, they can go right on the website, plug in their home address, and we'll bring them right here, all right? So just a couple things we've added to the church website. We'll be updating things. We've got some more things in the work, but just to update you on those few things, all right? All right. I'm going to shut this off now, and we'll get into the message, all right? So big thank you to Mike and to Josh and all those that have been helping out Pastor with the website. I believe it's paying off. All right, Luke chapter 15. And we're going to begin reading here. I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but I'm going to go through a bunch of this, and I've got a fair amount of ground to cover. I kind of just want to expositionally go through a few things, and I'm going to draw some points out of it. If you know me, I'm usually 3 points in a poem, kind of a preacher, and I'm going to be kind of going through expositionally a little bit more and just breaking down the text, and if we can, gather some things for us to eat spiritually here. But I do want to start reading in verse number 11. If you'll read along with me, the Bible says, "And he said, a certain man had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. He divided unto them his living. Not many days after, the younger son gathered all together, and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land, and he began to be in one. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into the fields to feed swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husks that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And he came to his sense, and he came to himself, and he said, How many hired servants of my father's have bread enough to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose, came to his father, but when he was yet a long, great way off, and his father saw him, and had compassion, and ran, and fell on his neck, and kissed him. And his son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and I'm no longer worthy to be called thy son. But his father said to his servants, Bring forth the best robe, put it on him, put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet. We're going to preach a message with the help of God tonight entitled Prisoners of War, POW. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord God, we come before you thanking you and praising you, Father, for who you are, and God, for what you've done. And Father, I thank you for each and every one that has chosen to come out to your house to worship, and Father, lift you up. And God, we have one goal and one goal only here tonight, Father. We want to lift you up. God, I'll claim the scripture that if I be lifted up, you said in your scriptures, speaking of yourself, that if you be lifted up, I would draw all men unto myself. And so, God, we claim that. We'd ask of you that you hedge this place about, that you cast out and off the devils and demons of hell that would seek to come against this place. God, I ask of you that you do a work in our heart and in our life, that, Father, you bless us, that, God, we would leave here not only stirred and motivated, but changed for you. And God, thank you for each and every one that's out. Father, I pray that you put a guard on my mouth. Don't let me say anything you don't want me to say, but God, give me the spiritual backbone and wisdom and discernment to say everything that you want me to say. For it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen and amen. All right. Carrying into this, how many of you guys are familiar with this parable that Jesus taught? Everybody, I am sure. We've all heard this, right? The parable of what do we call him, Brother Jim? Right. Prodigal son. All right. And Jesus here is speaking to a group of, guess who? In verse 2, you can read in chapter 15. What are they, Brother Jim? Pharisees, aren't they? And it seems like throughout the entire ministry of Jesus, you've got a group of people called the Pharisees always running around trying to mess with Jesus. And it's like, Brother Jim, they had nothing better to do. And you think that they were going to be serving God as a full-time occupation, they'd be serving God rather than messing with this man named Jesus. Whether you believed he was the Son of God or not, you would have better things to do. But the Pharisees are here, and Jesus gives them a series of 3 parables, and I would love to be able to take each one of them and break them down. But I only have time to do the one tonight. I want to try to break it down into bite-sized chunks and give us some things that we can eat spiritually from this. But I call it prisoners of war for a reason. How many of you guys understand tonight? Well, let me ask you this first. How many of you guys are born-again children of God? Say amen. 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 All right. I don't know, maybe some of you are saying, how many of you guys are born-again children of God? And I say amen. Amen. All right. Praise God. How many of you guys understand this? As born-again children of God, we are in a spiritual warfare. There you go. Amen. Anybody understand that? Amen. Now, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. If you guys know me, I like to have fun as a child of God. All right? If you think Christians are boring, you never hung around me because I'm a nut and a half. Amen? Amen. All right? I go around breaking pulpits. It's still broken. I never fixed it. And I don't know what that's about. I might end up pulling the thing off. I don't know. But, now listen, I try to have fun as a Christian. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. But understand this. We as children of God are in a spiritual warfare. Now think about any other type of warfare. Most of the time, Brother Jim, there is a good logical reason for you to be fighting. Now, nations, and even here in our nation, that we fought some wars where you kind of scratch your head and go, what in the world were we doing? But that's neither here nor there. If you fight a war, there is a good reason you're fighting war, right? There's always something at stake. And there have been literally hundreds and thousands of men that were American citizens that went overseas and died on foreign fields protecting what? Our liberty, amen, our freedom. Amen. I don't know how many guys, I know a number of you have served in the military. From the bottom of my heart, I say thank you. Amen. Because the very freedom I have is because of your sacrifice. Right. Whether you stay over there or not, all gave some, and like the song says, all gave some, and some gave all, all right? And I thank you for that. But may I say, in the spiritual warfare in which we fight, there are even greater stakes than our freedom and our liberty. Brother Jim, we fight for the souls of men. Amen. We fight for those souls that will be going down to hell. Like my brother Pastor Martin just preached. He said, or just said it right before time he got done preaching, and Miss Mary gave her testimony. He said, and some having compassion making a difference. Quoting Jude. Right there, smallest book in the Bible, like an atom bomb. You step on it like a landmine, blow it right in front of your face. I love that book. But some having compassion, making a difference, understanding there are real stakes in what we do. And in any war, you have POWs.
That's right.
You know, I almost changed the title of this message to Call of Duty. Josh, you're back here. My brother from the same mother. Usually it's the other mother, but Josh is the same mother. All right? You got a game on the, what is that, the Xbox Jigger 360 or no, PlayStation 3?
Yes.
PlayStation 3. But same game, right? You Call of Duty, and you call that what, Modern something, Modern Warfare? Right? Yeah. Black Ops something, right? I almost call this Call of Duty spiritual warfare, brothers, and that's what I almost call this message, all right? But I know it's much the same concept, okay? In any war, you have POWs or MIAs, and you have people that are prisoners of war. And understand this, if we're in a war, we have an enemy. And if we have an enemy, then he sometimes takes some of our troops down, some of our people down, some of our folks down. And sometimes they go POW, they go MIA, and they are prisoners of war. That is, they've been taken down by something or the other. I don't care what sin it is, what host it is, you see here in these three parables where Jesus gives an example to these Pharisees. The first one is sheep. And Jesus comes to them and he says, listen, if you got 100 sheep, there is a shepherd, and one of them goes missing, one of them goes gone, and it's going to die, it's going to kill himself. You know what he does? Preacher, he stays with the 99 because they're the ones that care enough about their shepherd to follow him, doesn't he? Stays right there with those 99 and doesn't go after that one, huh? Well, after all that one, he's so low down and dirty little woolly booger, he left the flock, didn't he? Yeah. He deserves a broken leg, don't he? Yeah. I mean, what is he thinking anyway, Brother Jim? He's in a phone, he's protected, he's sheltered, he's loved, he's fellowship. One of the family, what's he doing going off there? Little woolly bugger anyway, let him go, right? The shepherd says, I don't want him, I don't care about him. That's not what he does, is it? The shepherd leaves the 99 and goes out and finds that one sheep. You want to know why? Because that one sheep had the same value as the 99. Despite being gone from the fold, despite what he chose to do, same value.
Come on, amen.
Amen. The next one he gives is coins. It says the lady has these 10 coins. Brother Jim, she loses one of them. All right? And when she loses that one coin, what does she do? She goes, well, I've got 9 of them left. I'm good to go. It's right in my pocket. I know where they are, but one I'll forget about. No. She stops what she's doing and searches her whole house over till she finds that one coin. You know what Jesus is saying? Same value. Set's not complete until that one's there. And then he goes into a lengthy parable about what we call the prodigal son. And I've heard a lot of preachers preach this, and I think well-meaning, they preach that the prodigal is getting saved. Brother Jim, when he comes back, praise God, he got saved. No, he was already saved. He was already one of the children. Look at what it says right here. And he said a certain man in verse 11 had 2 sons. 2 of them. One of them wasn't a son, one was saved. The other one wasn't bad just because he was gone, right? They're both sons, both children of God. Both of the same father. And this one comes to him, and in verse 12 we see not only the sonship, but we're going to see the sin. He goes to his father. In verse 12 it says, the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of the goods that falleth to me. You know what he said? Brother Jim, basically, he said this, I wish he's dead. So, well, no, that's not what he's saying. I'm sorry, when do you get an inheritance? When that individual passes on. So, Dad, I don't care whether you're alive or whether you're dead. I want what's coming to me, what I've earned in his mind. I want my living. Give it to me. He goes out, and what does he do? Spends it with riotous living, the Bible says. Right?
Right.
So he's out there coverting, he's out in the bars, he's out bar hopping. You could relate him to any crack fiend or any dope addict, whatever you want to make him out to be. I'm sure this young man tried of the sin of his day. He had lavish effects. Now this man didn't have to sell off half of his farm. He didn't have to cash in all of his cattle. He literally, Brother Jim, went to the bank and said, here's half of what I've gotten monetarily. Go ahead and take it, and he didn't break it. He was a wealthy man. May I say we have a wealthy father.
Yeah.
We got a rich, rich daddy up in heaven. My God owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. He owns the hills, and he owns the gold in the hills. As a matter of fact, he don't think too much of the gold because he pays the streets with it. Amen? So I've got a rich father, but this one young man come to him, and he said, Father, you've given me a living, you've given me life, I want half of it, and I want to go my way. Now, how many Christians do you and I know that come to mind to do the same thing together.
Yeah, come on.
I'm not trying to step on toes, but if you don't want them stepped on, pull them out in the aisle tonight, okay? I'm just being straight up honest with you. There's a lot of Christians in this place tonight and out in the world tonight that are saved, they owe their life to God, they owe everything they have to Jesus Christ. They go to God and they say, God, give me my inheritance, my living, I'm going my way. Say, preacher. No, yeah. And I'll be honest with you, you know the easiest sin in the world to confess? Brother Jim, you never guess it.
Somebody else.
Somebody else's. Your neighbors. That's the easiest sin in the world to confess. Every one of us, if we were honest and the curtains of our mind could be pulled back, we'd all be thinking about somebody going, well, I was thinking about so-and-so, you know. That's exactly what they're doing. That preacher is right on key with so-and-so. You know what I mean?
Close the curtain, please.
Right there. Now, understand this. Every one of us has done that. And we're going to see here in a little bit that both sons were equally at fault, equally sinful. I'll show you that in a minute. But here he is in sin. He goes out and he wastes his living. Now look at verse 14. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land, and he began to be in want. You say what you want, you can convince me in a million years of nothing else but this. I believe that God sent that famine in the land.
Amen.
I believe he sent it right where that young man was at, Brother Jim, knowing that desperation would eventually drive you out to his father. Understand this. Hebrews says this, that if ye be without chastening, whereof all are partakers in it, ye bastards and not sons. You know what that means? That if you get out of line to the child of God, he'll spank you.
Come on, amen.
I'll be honest with you, I know it because I'm still sore from my last whooping. Still sore. Nobody throws a spanking like Jesus. Understand this? You say, well, that's not my God. But what do you mean? That's you. How many guys ever had children? All right, put your hand up. How many of y'all ever spanked them?
Young man.
Yeah. My dad had a wooden paddle. You still have that thing?
No, I broke it.
I'm going to block it. And my head's still hard. Oh, geez. All right? My dad used to pull that wooden paddle when I'd be messing up and doing a bunch of stuff. He'd say, son, it's going to hurt you more than it is me. And I'll say, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying. But you know what? I believe he meant it, and I believe it did hurt him. I don't think he took pleasure in whooping on me, at least not every time. Same with Mama. They did that because they loved me, huh?
Amen.
You ever spank the children, you know you've done that to that child for their own good, for their own benefit, to help that child out. That's why you do that. And God will do the same thing with us. And so I believe God sent this famine into the land and let him suffer a little bit. And we've seen this, the sonship, the suffering after the sin. And look at what it says. And when he had spent all, in verse 14. Understand this, sin will cost you, child of God, every time. Every time. Now listen, I want us to be desperately in church, and I know this is Pastor Martin's heart as well, Pastor Dad's heart, whatever you want to call him, Preacher Rob, whatever, all right? It's his heart as well as my heart that we love this community with every ounce, every fiber of my being. We ought to love them right where they're at, but we ought to love them too much to leave them there. We ought to love them in their sin and out of their sin, and then back into the house of God. That's where I believe God is. But let me say this too, and we're not going to back off preach on sin. Is sin sin? You better believe it is. Jesus Christ preached against sin, it's sin. We'll call a spade, we'll call whatever you want to call, we'll call them like the Bible sees it. That's just exactly what we're going to do, is preach on sin. But I want you to notice something, Brother Jim, that father never sent nobody to go and whoop up on his son. Preacher, he never sent nobody to go rob his boy so that all of his living was taken away to make him desperate to bring him back to himself, did he? Never did it. That father never once took it upon himself to punish the son. He said it's in God's hands. And let me say this, a word of warning to every single one of us in this place tonight. God doesn't need our help to chasten anybody.
Come on, that's right.
Your job, my job is not to punish anybody. Our job is to love them where they're at. Amen. And that father, we'll see here in a minute, he never sent anybody. He never punished anybody. He loved his son from as much as he possibly could. Brother Jimmy had to love him from a distance. That was the son's choice, not his choice. And he went into a far country. Brother Jim, I believe if he would have moved next door, he would have loved him just as much. But let me say this. The suffering But then we see the sensibility. I'm running out of time. We've got about 10 minutes. I'm trying to wrap this up. We see the sensibility. That's something else by itself. I can't read over that and not preach on for just a second. I know I'm running out of time, but forgive me tonight. I'm trying to get going, all right? He came to himself. You know what happened? He had a moment where reality hit him. How many of you guys ever had that before? Amen. You heard it? Yep. I was one time, we was biking on a trail, an old railroad trail. My dad was behind me, and I think, Sissy, were you there too? He was behind us, weren't you? And I was just a pill in my heart out. I don't know, I was maybe 12, 13 years old. Something like that. Man, I was the fastest thing you ever saw, man. You may have well had a rocket ship on my behind. I was cooking. And Brother Jim, I got cocky. And little Miss Jessie, you know what I said I'd do? I said, I'm going to show off for these cats back here. I'm going to show them what a real biker does. And so, Brother Mike, I started zipping my tire back and forth. And I was like, yeah, very impressed now. And all of a sudden I went down a little bit farther and down a little bit farther. And soon that moment of reality hit me where I came to myself and I said, this is beyond my control. I'm going down. And sure enough, wow, I snapped that thing and pulled out 30 foot laid there. My dad come up and went, are you all right? I went, oh, and he went, and Rachel come up to me in that loving, sisterly voice and went, you're an idiot. But I had that moment of reality hit me where I understood just exactly where I was at, and I realized I didn't want to be where I was, though I wanted to get there. And this young man had the same thing, and this son had a moment where he woke up and said, I would be happy if I could just eat what the pigs get to eat. Hey, what am I doing here? My father raised me better than this. I've got more inheritance than this. Hey, my father's servants live better than him. The ones that live out in the barn live better than him. I could eat what they eat and be better off than what I am now. And he comes to himself. And God has so lovingly and so tenderly brought him back to that place where he says he's going back to his father. Now let's read on in the story. Look at what he says in verse 18. It says, I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven, and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. He practices the whole speech out. He's got it all down packed. I believe he had his voice inflections just right. Real now, Father, I have sinned before thee in heaven. He's got it all down, Brother Jim. Got exactly how it ought to sound. He knows exactly what he's going to say, and he takes off for home. Nothing so beautiful as a picture of what this happened. To understand this is a parable, but I've seen it happen in real life. I'll tell you about a story of that in a minute. But I want you to see not only the sensibility, but I want you to see the sensitivity. Look in verse 20. It says, and he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. Brother Jim had no idea what his son didn't do. Didn't matter. There's a church that I know of not too far from this place that added into their church constitution that, Brother Jim, if a church member's gone for more than, what is it, honey, a couple months? Something like that? 3 months, 6? 1 year, whatever. Okay, a certain number of months, they come back to the church, they have to get up before the whole church and say, church, this is why I was gone, this is what I was doing during those months, and here's why I'm exactly sorry, and I beg you that you would come back and so humbly accept me back into your fold. I say, and I mean this in Christian love, hogwash. I'm trying to say it soft, but that's as soft as I can say it, all right? You know what this father did? He saw his son. Now help me out with something. I got hillbilly logic. But if that son was a great way off, he didn't all of a sudden turn down the driveway and glance and see his son. He was watching for him. He was looking for him. And you know what it says right here? It says the father ran to him. It didn't matter what he'd done. It didn't matter what he'd been. It didn't matter that he was with the hogs. It didn't matter what he was with the harlots. That father ran. And then I say, when you mess up and I mess up and we get going out in the world and we decide to come back, there ain't nothing so sweet as watching God run and meet that child of God. Understand? It's got to run to meet you where you're at tonight. He'll run
You're broken.
Well, come on now. There was a young man I met him first juvenile facility I ever went to was Mohican. You all heard that story, met that young man there, got to see him saved there by the grace of God, took off, read the Bible studies, did all the material to throw that boy, got out, never heard from him again. A few months went by, 3 months went by, but I don't know, it was about a year or so went by, and we saw him in an adult facility up in Richland Correctional. Never forget it, David King, he's a man that's a volunteer, has a ministry out of his church in Columbus. He walked in before me and recognized him, and I walked in and I recognized him. And the first words out of Brother King's mouth were, "What are you doing here, son?" And I said the same thing, "Man, what are you doing here?" And he began to cry and began to bawl, and he said, "Preacher, I got out of prison, and I was doing well, and I fell back in the wrong crowd." And he went through a whole story and litany and a whole list of sins, and that young man had been stripped of everything that he's done. He found himself feeding around the husks around him. And he said, "I'm no longer worthy to be used of God. I don't even want to go into the service. I'm here because I've got to be for such and such a class, and it's just about over." And I said, "You do me a favor, young man. When that service is over, you come in and you sit in the Rock of Ages service. And you sit in the back row if you want to sit in the back row, but don't you leave this place without coming to that service." And he did. And in Richland, that evening in Richland, he walked the aisle, and man, I say to you, child of God, that young man stood up at altar call, and he stood up from the back row, if you will. He stood up from the swine pen and the hog pen, and he dropped the husk that were around him, and he said, "My Father, I've sinned against him." And listen, friend, ain't nobody had to go to him. Ain't nobody ran to him. God himself met him where he was at. And yeah, listen, friend, that's the sweetest prayer time I ever had with somebody drop down on his knees and he said, "Jesus, I hope you can still use me. I hope you can still challenge something for me." May I say that man's still in prison, but he's being mightily used of God tonight, and God met him just exactly.
Amen.
He was of no less value. God ran to meet him just exactly where he was, had compassion on him. But that's not the brunt of my message. It's not what I really want to hit on. Because I know the folks that are in this church tonight. Many of you I've known for years and years. Some of you, like my good brother back there, I've known my whole life. Been on my brothers for a long time. Got a special bond with a lot of you. Now, I say this from the bottom of my heart. I consider every one of you family.
Amen.
I love every one of you in Jesus Christ. I can promise you this. I'm a peaceable, loving guy. I'm easy to get along with. But you let somebody from the stinking world come out here and try to mess with one of you, and they're going to have a whole lot of big fat preacher real mad right in your face real quick. Come down and do like a ton of bricks, friend. Because you're my family. I take a bullet for any one of you. I mean that. I love you, Lord. But I know a lot of you here. I know that most of us, while we have sin in our life, it's not the prodigal kind of sin. Preacher, it's not, preacher, that you're addicted to porn, are you? It's not that. Brother Roger, it's not that you have a hobby of murdering people on the side. And Brother Jesse, he's a part-time assassin. We'll get into that later. Brother Jesse, you don't kill people for money, do you? It ain't that kind of sin. Brother Jim, you don't have a habit of shooting up stuff in your arm, do you, brother? I've seen him without a shoe coat. He's got no needle tracks running up down his arms. Although that would explain why he's always so happy. No, I'm just teasing. Right? It's not that kind of sin that creeps into the church most of the time. This kind of people we have in the church most of the time is the second son. And he's the one I want to dig into for just a minute.
Amen.
We see here where the father... Let me just skip by this. I can't read over this. I just can't do this. But look at what in verse 21. "And his son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven, and in thy sight, and am no longer worthy to be called thy son." Look at verse 22. "But his father cut him off." Brother, he didn't get to give his whole speech. He got to give half of it. Father said, "It don't matter what your speech is. It don't matter that you were. It doesn't matter. You bring the robe. You put it back on him. You put a ring on his finger, symbol of sonship. Slide that ring on his finger. God will restore you." I just wanted to say that.
Amen. Amen.
But in verse 23 and 24, you'll see where he says, "And bring hither the fatted calf, and kill it, and let us eat, be merry. For this my son was dead, is now alive again. He was lost, and is found." And they began to be married. Look at verse 25. Now his elder son was in the field, and as she came and drew nigh to the house, he heard the music and the dancing. And he called one of the servants and asked him what these things meant. And he said, Thy brother is come, and thy father hath killed the fatted calf, because he hath received him safe and sound. And he was angry, and would not go in. Therefore his father came out and entered and entreated him, and answering said to his father, Lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgressed I against thee at any of thy commandments, and yet thou never gavest me a kid that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as this thy son was come, which hath devoured thy living with harlots, and thou hast killed for him the fatted calf. And his father said unto him, Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. It was meet that we should make merry and be glad, for this thy brother was dead, and is alive again, was lost, and is found. Here's this young man the entire time he's there. The entire time he's plowing in the field. Every time he sees his father heartbreaking because his younger brother's having sin, that young man, that oldest son, puffing his chest out. Well, I guess I did better than him. Now, I know he fell in sin, but it wasn't me. Bless God. The entire time, puffing himself up. Well, Brother Jim, I'm better than he is. At least I didn't fall prey to that. I'm going to do what I was supposed to. And this younger son comes back, and the father killed for him the fatted calf, and he says, No, I'm not going in. What he was self-righteous, he was arrogant, he was proud. The one that was, by all outward aspects, supposed to be the one that was right with God, was the one that was, in fact, as far away from his father as if he had been in the far country with the pigs.
Yeah, man, that's right.
Because he was better than the younger son. He was self-righteous. He said, No, I'm not going in. All this time I've served you, you never even give me a kid, and now you're going to kill a fatted calf for him. You know the most tragic verse in this chapter, Brother Jim? Is verse 33. Would you read that, preacher?
Might have to read between the lines a little bit.
I didn't say it wrong. I meant what I said. Most tragic verse in this chapter is verse 33. You want to know why? There isn't one. That older brother stayed mad. Stayed self-righteous and stayed proud, and for all we know, sat outside with his arms crossed, his heart and his concern. I say that to say this. I gave the illustration a while ago, and I'm going to give it again tonight. After that, I'll sit down and I'll shut up. I'm going to take tonight a wheelbarrow full of dynamite. Say, preacher, you wouldn't do it. You don't know me well enough. I'm a maniac for Jesus. I like fire. I like things to go boom, amen. I was over at my mother-in-law's house. God love her. And I was being a little bit ornery, a little bit cantankerous like I can be. And she's sitting there, and there's a whole lot of kid left in you. And I said, praise God, there probably already will be, and there always will be, amen. I'm just like that. But if I was to take a whole wheelbarrow full of dynamite and shove it out into a parking lot, I would recommend a couple things. Number one, you stand back. Number two, you move your cars. Just be honest with you. But you might as well light that pile of dynamite and boom, it would go off. Wouldn't do much damage to the ground. You might make a little bit of a divot, you might make a little bit of that. But Brother Jim, you being a physics guy, a science kind of guy, most of the force is going to go out and up, right? It's going to make a big boom, but it ain't going to do much to the ground. But Brother Jim, if I were to take a post hole digger, I was to dig out about a 6-foot swatch of ground. I mean, just straight down a tube. And I would take one single solitary stick of dynamite on a long fuse, drop it down in that hole, cover it up with dirt, and stomp on it a couple times, light that thing and walk away. Brother, you better not be within 2 square blocks of this place, because it's going to blow out every window in this building. And it's going to make a hole the size big enough to have a Ford in that up, amen? I can do a big old truck. It's going to blow that thing to smithereens. And what a wheelbarrow full of dynamite could not accomplish on the outside, one single solitary stick can destroy the entire place. Why? Because it's what's on the inside that matters.
Amen.
And if I can caution us as children of God, let me say this, Please do not be that stick of dynamite that blows EBC out of the stinking water and blows a hole in us because we're so much better than everybody else. I say this, the dope fiend, the crack addict out there in that community, the one that's drunk, the one that's in the little alleys back there, the ones that can't sit either, Brother Jim, aren't hard working enough to do the job, not willing to flip burgers, whatever the case may be. You label whatever stereotype you want. I'm no better than they are. But for the grace of God, there you go.
Amen.
Amen.
We ought to love them, and we ought to be looking for them from a great way off. The preacher will be running with God.
That's right. Amen. Come on. Amen.
I'll not be asking questions where they're at, what they're doing. I'll just love them where they're at.
Yeah.
That father had compassion. That's what made the difference. Father was hardworking. He was righteous, shunned sin, stayed away from what he should have stayed away from, stayed close to what he should have stayed close to, and he had compassion. The older son stayed where he was supposed to. Brother Jim was hardworking. Knew all the rules, stayed away from what he should have stayed away from, stayed close to what he should have stayed close to, but he didn't have compassion. And it made all the difference. So if I can encourage us to have anything tonight, compassion.
Amen.
Love. You be able to meet people where they're at. Love them right where they're at. And love them out where they're at.
Amen.
Because that's what Jesus was trying to do for us. Those Pharisees, just like the older men. In fact, Brother Jim, in another portion of the Gospels, he would say this people draweth nigh unto their lips, but their heart is far from me. I don't know about you tonight, but I don't want to be that child of God. I don't want to be the one that is faithful in the house of God, but my heart's down the road somewhere else. I want to give everything I can to the Lord Jesus Christ, and I want to see His face.
Amen. Amen.
You guys want to see EBC take off and go places?
Amen.
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 You will, you. Brother Jesse, Mary Ann, you guys want to see it, don't you? How long have you been here, Jesse? Years and years, ain't it? Brother,
Ever since it started.
ever since it started. Brother Jesse, you've been faithful all those years because you were hoping to see her die one day, right? Not so much, huh? Brother Jim, you've been driving down here from Ontario, what is it, 45, 50-minute drive? How many years now? 38 years. Been hoping it would just fit around. Every Sunday you come down to the parking lot, you go, man, there's more people. Yes, it's not going to be this week they close the doors. It's not what you're hoping, is it, brother? So how about this, folk? How about we have compassion?
Come on. Amen.
How about we stay faithful at it?
Yes.
Let's watch what God can do in this place. Amen?
Amen.
Amen.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, God, I come before you and I thank you and praise you, Father, just a simple message, no profound truths tonight, just a few simple things out of your Bible. God, I thank you so much for those truths, and God, I pray that you help us to have compassion on those that are out there, and that, Father, you would keep our hearts humble. And Father, we would stay low and stay near you, that God, we would wear out our knees, so to speak, being prayer warriors for you, and that God, you let us reach this community that's lost in its time with the precious gospel of Jesus Christ. Uplift us, I pray, in Jesus' name.